More and more horror movies come and go every single year, which means more and more deaths hit the big screen and traumatize us in the process. This is simply a list that can never run out because with horror comes misery, and misery loves company. These are the top 5 worst horror movie death scenes, part 7. Let's jump in. Coming in at number 5, Jaws. Quint. Now, many of you were upset that I didn't include this death in an earlier list, but Quint is here now, so don't fret. Released in 1975 and directed by Steven Spielberg, Jaws is an action horror based on the novel of the same name. Starring the likes of Rob Schneider, Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, Lorraine Gary, and Murray Hamilton, Jaws follows a man-eating great white shark who begins to attack beachgoers at a summer resort town, prompting the chief of police to hunt it down with the help of a marine biologist and a professional shark hunter. No one seems to be safe from the shark, not even the children playing in the lake. The shark is relentless and intends on consuming everyone who gets in its way. Now, when we first meet shark hunter Quint, he is gruff, somewhat scary, and is clearly a no-nonsense man who is hellbent on catching the predator beneath the surface. However, this all builds to a startling and shocking end to such a tough character as the group are on the boat hunting for the great white. The shark leaps out of the water and lands on the boat, destroying the deck and resulting in Quint slipping right into its jaws. The shark chomps down, shakes him around, and all Quint can do is scream out in pain and terror as he is consumed by the beast. The effects in this scene are truly superb, with it lingering with viewers long after the credits roll. Yet another reason not to go in the water. Coming in at number 4, we have The Omen, The Nanny. I love being able to talk about The Omen. It's such an eerie and uncomfortable movie that I feel like we don't discuss enough these days. Released in 1976 and directed by Richard Donner, The Omen stars the likes of Gregory Peck, Lee Remick, David Warner, Harvey Spencer Stevens, Billy Whitelaw, and Leo McKern, with it concerning Damien Thorne, a young child who was replaced at birth by an American ambassador after their biological son dies shortly after birth. However, it turns out that their new son may in fact be the prophesized Antichrist, after a series of mysterious events and violent deaths begin to follow him. Now, Damien became such a horror movie icon, he went on to appear in an entire franchise, including Damien Omen 2, Omen 3, The Final Conflict, and Omen 4, The Awakening. However, we're just simply going to be discussing the first movie, and arguably the most memorable death in the entire franchise, that being the death of the nanny. Now, during an extravagant party thrown for Damien for his 5th birthday, the boy's nanny ruins the mood, ending the party quite drastically. She stands atop the house with a noose around her neck, claiming, "It's all for you, Damien," before jumping and hanging from the house, with partygoers looking on in shock and horror. It's one of the first moments that we begin to suspect all is not right with Damien, and that maybe he has sinister plans for those around him. Coming in at number 3, we have The Happening, Household Chores. Look, I pride myself on talking about good horror movies, unless it's specifically a bad horror movie list, in which case the more the merrier. However, I hate discussing The Happening, because it just truly is a terrible movie, not a so bad it's good level of entertainment, just a this is bad level. Regardless, this death from the movie has made its way onto our list, and there's no looking back now. Released in 2008 and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, The Happening is a psychological horror starring the likes of Mark Wahlberg, Zooey Deschanel, and Betty Buckley, with it following a group of 4 survivors as they try to escape an inexplicable natural disaster. Spoiler, it's the plants. The plants are doing it. Anyway, it's not the ridiculous twist that we're going to be discussing here. It's one death that involves a man and his lawnmower, which has simply made our list because we had no idea this could ever happen. But it happened. Whether it's realistic, who knows. During one particular scene, a tense and concerned Marky Mark is watching a man across a field. He appears to head towards his riding mower before turning it on. The machine begins to move around the grass on its own accord, with the man laying down in front of it, resulting in the hulking machine sucking him right up, and blood spurting out everywhere. Such a simple chore instantly became very terrifying, but don't fret too much, this is the world of M. Night Shyamalan, so this is unlikely to take place regularly. I hope not anyway. Coming in at number 2, we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Unexpected Visitor. Now, as odd as this might be to hear, considering I constantly preach about how unnecessary remakes or sequels are, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise is one that I can actually get down with. Not only is the original great, but so is the Jessica Biel version, as well as the Jordana Brewster one. Quote me on that. I love them all. Despite that, we will be discussing the original 1974 movie, so don't get upset just yet. Directed by Tobe Hooper and starring the likes of Marilyn Burns, Paul A. Parton, Edwin Neal, And Gunnar Hansen, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre follows a group of friends who fall victims to a cannibalistic family while on their way to visit an old homestead. Now, as most will know, Leatherface and his ruthless family are absolutely terrifying, with them stopping innocents and unleashing Leatherface and his grisly torture methods upon them. Usually it ends with Leatherface quite literally wearing their faces, which honestly doesn't sound like the best time. Now, after a few of the group members stumble across a nearby home after running out of gas, one of them, Kirk, goes inside to seek help. However, he does not find help. Instead, he stumbles right into Leatherface, with his skull colliding with his hammer. This scene is absolutely terrifying and incredibly shocking simply because of how sudden it all was. There was no build-up of tension, no subtle score or sound effects to drive the emotion. Instead, the character walks in, Leatherface appears, and he begins to beat him, with the thumping of the hammer sending chills down everyone's spine. And finally, coming in at number 1, we have Ghost Ship: The Wire. Now, Ghost Ship is by no means a good movie, but it's a lot of fun and includes one of the most insane death sequences in any horror movie. Released in 2002 and directed by Steve Beck, Ghost Ship is a supernatural horror starring the likes of Juliana Margulies, Ron Eldard, Desmond Harrington, and Carl Urban, with it following a marine salvage crew in the Bering Sea who discover a mysterious ocean liner that supposedly disappeared back in 1962. Now, if you ask any horror movie lover if they like this movie, they may very well say no, but they will certainly reference the prologue, that's for sure. Simply because of how shocking it is, but mostly because it's the best part of the whole movie, unfortunately. In what is perhaps one of the most shocking and abrupt scenes, the prologue shows the passengers aboard the ocean liner, having a merry time, dancing, drinking champagne, and enjoying everyone's company on the deck. However, all of that is quickly ruined when a mysterious hand lifts a lever that unravels a wire, snapping it in the process, and whipping the wire across the dance floor, bisecting all of the passengers and the crew, aside from one person, Katie, a young girl who is spared as the wire passes right over her head. The other passengers, however, weren't as fortunate, with body parts and limbs sliding across the deck, with the bloodied wire wiping out an entire boat and traumatizing us in the process. If there's one way you don't want to go out, it's this way. Trust me. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with our list? What's a horror movie death scene that triggered you? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 8. Before I go though, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos. Top 5 mysteries have just been solved, part 2. Insane Disappearances said, in those times an umbrella was used as a means of shade from the sun. Yeah, you're not wrong. I completely understand that. But the guy who was holding the umbrella did come forward and say that was not his reasoning as to why he had the umbrella. It was a statement. Mark Lopez said, my suggested top 5 mysteries that have never been solved video. We have done that in the past, but maybe I can rework something. We shall see. I'll try my best. Anthony Long said, looking stellar as always, Lucy. You should do a list of creepy Alaskan legends. We have so many. That is very true. And I used to live in Alaska. There are lots of legends. I would love to do that one day. If it happens, it happens. Broken Lantern X said, to be fair, calling your ship the HMS Terror was asking for trouble. I completely agree. And aren't you supposed to name boats after women? I mean, maybe I shouldn't encourage that. I don't know why that is. It's probably about people wanting to come home to their wives, leaving their wives, wanting them with them. It's supposed to be good luck. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Borch McTeague said, Lucy, I've missed you. I didn't go anywhere. I've been here the whole time. I don't believe I left. I mean, sometimes I sleep at night. I guess that's the one and only time you don't see me. Otherwise, I'm always here. I'm always around. Don't remember the last time I wasn't here. Commit What Happened said, Lucy, wow, what a commanding outfit. It just screams respect and intelligence. I don't remember what I was wearing, but I was probably wearing a blazer that often commands respect and intelligence. So thank you, I appreciate that. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And until next time, I'll see you later. And all Quint can for sake. Lila, I can hear you. Don't be doing that. Also, I met the actor who played Damien at, what was it called? Fan Expo. He was lovely. He was a older man now. And not old. Like 40s. But then, like 2 weeks after I saw him at Fan Expo, he got arrested. So, sucks. However, will people stop texting me? I'm gonna lose my I need to turn airplane mode off. Notifications, go away. Oh my god, why? No one's got to say important things to me right now. It's 8:30 a.m. At least I hope it's not important.